Today, in my first ever theory video, I'm stumped as to what to do. Zelda timeline? What Springfield do the Simpsons live in? Meh. Figuring out exactly how old Mario is? Pass. Now that could be interesting. Alright, so today, my friends, we're going to make a trap to catch a tiger involving a tuna fish sandwich.
One eternity later.
Still no tiger. Well, let's talk about Hobbes then. For decades, there's been a debate going on about whether Hobbes is a real furred creature or just a stuffed animal that Calvin's imagination brings to life in his eyes. Now there seems to be a striking amount of evidence that Hobbes isn't real. Calvin's the only one who sees him, for one. Well, actually, here's the thing. Hobbes is real. And I'm not just saying this. I have a ton of proof to back it up, too. Take all the strips where Hobbes pounces on Calvin. He noticeably affects the look of Calvin, with Calvin's parents asking him why he's so dirty. He responds in the same way. Hobbes pounced on me, the flea brain, or something along those lines. Not enough proof for you? Well, let's go back to the early days of all CNH to a series that isn't the best, but is memorable because it proves once and for all that Hobbes exists. I'm talking, of course, about the strip where Calvin wants to be the next Houdini. Hobbes ties up Calvin so he can escape on his own. Wait, ties up? Calvin couldn't have done that on his own. You can't tie yourself up. So that means Hobbes is real. So now that we've proven that Hobbes is real once and for all, why is Hobbes only real to Calvin? Well, to do that we have to not do much, actually. This is mostly where the proof ends. After this it'll be just mostly educated guesses. But are ye ready to find out the truth about Hobbes? Well, are ye? If you're not, then exit this video now. But otherwise, stay. Alright, it's time. Hobbes is not a tiger. What? I hear you ask? This guy's raving mad, I also hear you say. But I have a bit of proof. Hobbes is almost always walking on two legs. A tiger could get onto two legs and jump, but it wouldn't at all be practical for them to walk for more than a tiny bit. They are designed to be four-legged. That's not much proof, though. And there's nothing else, really. Hobbes is a lot like a tiger, though. He's part of an alien species identical to tiger. Stop. Let's go back a bit. Hold on, I hear you ask. Am I seriously telling you to rethink everything you thought you knew about Calvin and Hobbes with next to no proof? Proof I might not have, but I guarantee you that this explanation will explain not only Hobbes, but also the secret lore of Calvin and Hobbes. Am I overthinking this strip? Probably, but you're still here, right? So let's continue. Okay, so aliens want to take over the Earth that Calvin and Hobbes and everyone else human in the strip inhabit. But they look so different from the inhabitants of Earth that any scouting mission would be spotted. So they send Hobbes, but he's not called that then. He's called something else, probably. So Hobbes is from a race of beings that look identical to tigers, and in times of danger they can transform into inanimate objects and can appear as both things simultaneously. So Hobbes is sent to Earth on a scouting mission, but sniffs his favorite snack, tuna fish, and is captured by Calvin, who was searching for his lost stuffed tiger, Hobbes. But once he captures Hobbes, he no longer needs a stuffed tiger. He has a real tiger. Well, tiger-like alien, anyway. Hobbes has amnesia and can't remember anything from the blow of the trap. So when Calvin explains that he's a tiger and his name is Hobbes, Hobbes believes him, and out of the corner of his eye, Hobbes sees the stuffed tiger. Every time people besides Calvin enter the room of wherever Hobbes is, he accidentally transforms into the stuffed tiger, but still appears to Calvin as a real tiger-like alien. Makes sense? Good, because I'm now going to explain what adventures are real and what adventures aren't real in the Calvin and Hobbes universe. There are three main categories for classifying Calvin and Hobbes strips that work with this theory. Classification A, whenever Calvin's imagination runs wild, like the Spaceman Spiff strips, or the Detective strips, or the Stupendous Man strips. And at the end, good old Bill Watterson clarifies that what happened wasn't real by showing something like Calvin in the principal's office, not in a dungeon. Classification B, tampered with by the aliens. This covers the alien strips that aren't classified as fake. They might be hinted at, but the information given isn't enough to prove that the aliens aren't there. Like this strip here, and the Galaxoid and Nebular strips. It also covers the duplicator and time travel box and transmogrifier, and the strips where Calvin's fighting with his food, and the snow goons. Basically, in all of the strips, the classification in B represents the aliens try to kill off Calvin, who somehow swayed Hobbes to his side by tampering with his cardboard boxes in an effort to make strange things happen that nearly kill Calvin and Hobbes. Although they do it in a way that outsiders like Calvin's parents would not be able to see what's truly going on. When Calvin's fighting with his food or the snow goons, they're sent by the aliens. Maybe some of the monsters under the bed that aren't classified as fake are also sent by the aliens. Woof, classification B is complicated. Oh yeah, and Galaxoid and Nebular. Those two were sent to take over the Earth, but weren't told about Hobbes' previous failure to scout. So when Galaxoid and Nebular come up to Hobbes, who doesn't transform due to having a faint pang of recognition for the species in his memory that doesn't fully register, but is enough to make it so he doesn't transform into a stuffed animal into Galaxoid and Nebular's eyes. Did that make sense? Whatever. Anyway, because Galaxoid and Nebular don't know about Calvin and Hobbes, when Calvin says he's the Earth leader, they don't think twice about it. So confusing, right? Well, don't worry, we're almost done. And the final classification. Classification C. All the strips that don't feature any of Calvin's imagination going wild, or the aliens trying to get Calvin and Hobbes killed by tampering with stuff. Basically the majority, the 90%. Because no matter how much weird lore there may or may not be in the Calvin and Hobbes universe, those are the strips that matter the most. The strips where Calvin and Hobbes are just pondering life itself, or where Dad is biking, or where Calvin's getting babysat. And so, we draw this video to a close. After all of that weirdness, after all of that strange lore, does this make sense? Is this a sensible explanation for the masterpiece that is Calvin and Hobbes? Even if all the crazy lore doesn't make sense to you, do you agree with me that Hobbes is truly real from the evidence I told you in the first part of this video? Well, either way, woof. Who knew Calvin and Hobbes was so complicated? Well, at least my next series won't be so complicated. Oh, right. I'm doing Smash Bros. Timeline. Welp. Hey y'all, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, and of course, stay random. Peace out.